Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Chrissy Schultz and I am so excited that you are here for the party. So today I'm going to show you a really easy way to get some extra veggies into your diet, because I know in January we're all looking to do that, and I'm going to use the deluxe cooking blender and the deep covered baker. So a quick reminder before I get started, don't forget to come back every day. I'm going to give you new recipes, new tips, and new games that you won't want to miss out on. So keep coming back into table. All right, let's start with our deep covered baker. Let me zoom in on this. So our deep covered baker is, I'm sorry, not deep covered baker, our deluxe cooking blender. So sorry. See, I'm pampered, not perfect. Anybody can do this. So our deluxe cooking blender is a cooking blender. It is not like some other big name blenders that you might know of that are on the market that say they cook. Those do cook, but they cook by friction, and you have to start with vegetables that are already par cooked. So with ours, this piece right here that's built in, I'm going to take the container off. So this part right here is actually a heating element. So what that means is this will cook your food and get to boiling, which you will see on this heated puree that we're going to make today. So we have two settings that are patent pending, both the jam and the sauce setting. And then we also have a smoothie setting because, of course, it's a blender, right? We have an alternative milk setting. So your almond milk, your rice milk, your coconut milk, oat milk, you name it, you can make it. I love almond milk made in this. I think it is far better than anything that you get on the market, and I have an extra tip for you in a minute. There's a grind setting, so you can make your own nut butters at home. There's a heated wash, so this will actually act like a dishwasher and wash itself. There's a soup setting, and the thing I love about our soup setting, we have a soup recipe that comes with this for a butternut squash soup, which is one of my favorites. And my favorite little tip for that recipe is I don't use fresh butternut squash. I use the frozen, and I don't have to defrost it. I just pop it into the blender container and set it to soup, and it will turn into hot, bubbling, boiling hot soup in about 30 minutes. So love that. All right, so there's a heated puree setting we're going to use today, and then jam and sauce. So sauce is like nacho cheese sauce, cheese fondue, a chocolate sauce, and then jams, any kind of jam you want to make, you can make in here. All right, so what else do you get with this blender? So obviously you get everything you see here, but then you also are going to get a guide, and on that guide, I love this because it's going to start out with sort of a quick start for you with all the different pieces that you get. And then it's going to give you some tips and two recipes to start with that are super easy. And then it's going to go through each of the settings, the smoothie setting, the grind, the alternative milk, and give you not only ideas, it'll give you a little bit of information about how that setting works, but then it's also going to give you some recipes. So here's some smoothie bowls if you love those. And it just goes through each of the settings. So I love this. I guard this with my life because it really does help when I want to either make a tried and true recipe from here, or I want to take something and kind of tweak it and use the information from here to make my own. By the way, this also does amazing margaritas, and it can even shave down your ice. So then you also get a tamper. And the thing that I love about this, let me put this back on the stand. There is a little helper handle for this because the glass is going to get hot. And then I also like that we've added this nice piece of plastic behind the handle. So when you're grabbing your container, you don't have to worry about accidentally burning the backs of your fingers. So the thing I like about this is that even when it goes in, you will not have to worry about touching the blade with this. So this is perfect for when you're grinding your nut butters, or anytime you have something kind of climbing the sides that you want to push down back into the blade. You also get a nut milk or alternative milk bag. So when I do my almond milk, you're gonna soak those almonds for a bit. You're gonna set it on the grinds or alternative milk setting, let it go through its thing, and then you're gonna pour it into this bag over the top of a bowl or a pitcher. Once you've squeezed out all of that milk, you're gonna be left with a lot of almond pulp. Don't throw it away. Put it onto a sheet pan, stick it in the oven on warm for a good long time until it completely dries out. Then you can throw it back in here on the grind setting and you have almond flour done. So you're using all parts of the almond. You're gonna wind up saving money, and I promise you it will taste better than anything you've ever had in the store. You also get our dual-ended cleaning brush to get down in there if there's anything extra kind of stuck at the end of a cleaning cycle, and either end works great. All right, so the recipe that we are making today is in the book under the heated puree setting, okay? So the neat thing about heated purees is that you can use these in soups. You can use them on the side of a piece of protein. So you can do like a cauliflower puree and use that almost like a mashed potato, and you can adjust the thickness of the puree. You can obviously use those purees for baby foods, but you can also use them to hide veggies in other things. So love this setting. By the way, I do have 2 dogs and 2 kids, and my dogs love to bark in the middle of my videos, so I apologize for that in advance. All right, let's see if he'll stop. Real loud. Anyone can do this. Jilly, can you go and talk to him and see if he'll stop, please? All right. Sorry, my daughter's on the other side of the room. Okay, so we are just gonna follow the recipe exactly as it says here, and the order that the ingredients are listed is the order you're gonna put them into your recipe. So let me grab one other thing. We're gonna start with some water. I'm just gonna use one of our easy read measuring cups. I love these. They come in a set of 3. There's a 1 cup, a 2 cup, and a 4 cup. We just need a little bit of water. Okay, about 1/4 cup. I'm gonna pop that in. The other thing that I love about this deluxe cooking blender is that if the lid is off and I have it turned on, it will not start until the lid gets put on. So I'll show you guys that in a minute. All right, so then we need a tablespoon of our Italian seasoning mix. And I love this mix. It is so good. I've had lots of hosts and guests who rave about this. They won't buy anything else. They just buy this. So we need about a tablespoon, and I'm gonna give you a little tip. On all of our seasonings and spice rubs, the thread at the top, if you measure up to that, that is just about a tablespoon. So I'm gonna measure to there, throw that in, okay? And then we need some salt. So I've got a teaspoon of salt in one of my measuring spoons. I'm actually gonna tweak this. I'm gonna add just a little bit of sugar. I've got about a tablespoon of sugar, but that's just to balance the acidity of the tomatoes that are going in. And then I need 4 garlic cloves that are peeled. So let me show you how I do that. This is our garlic peeler. I love it because I actually like it better for the other thing than for garlic. But this is great for garlic. You're gonna take 1 of your cloves of garlic. They don't have to be peeled. And you just press down slightly. You'll hear that paper kind of crackling, and roll it. And out pops your garlic clove. So I've already done 2 of those, but let me tell you what I also like this for. So instead of, well, in addition to garlic, if you've ever used those caramels that are wrapped in the plastic, the little caramel squares that you use for caramel apples and fun things like that, those little plastic pieces are so hard to get off the caramel, but you put them into here and you roll it and they come right out. So love that tip. And it's dishwasher safe, so I'm just going to throw that way. Move this off to the side of my cutting board. All right, I am also going to adjust this recipe just a little bit by throwing in a little bit of onion, just because I like the flavor. So this is one of our forged cutlery pieces, for our forged knives. We have two lines of knives. We have our forged knives, and then we also have our color-coded knives. And those color-coded knives are a great knife for somebody who is in a camper, a new homeowner, maybe a college student. Let me grab one of those so you can see. Here's the bread knife version. So each of them are colored a different color, and they are coated with a non-stick material. So these are great knives. I have lots of customers who love them. We have everything from a bread knife down to a paring knife. You do want to hand wash all of our knives, and they all come with a cover. These knives that I'm using today, let me zoom back in on it. So this is the utility knife. These have a full tang, so that metal is going to go all the way through the handle. They're riveted on. It's a German forged steel, and they stay sharp for so long. So if you are really frustrated as a cook, one of the reasons might be that you just have knives that need to be updated. So let me take this extra paper off. And I'm just gonna pop this. I always take off the paper and a layer or so of the onion because that extra layer in there just seems to not want to chop up. But I do save this stuff. You can keep all of these scraps in a freezer bag in your freezer. And once that freezer bag gets full, pop it into a big pot full of boiling water, add a little salt, and you can make your own veggie broth at home. Okay, so then I need a cup of carrots. So I have roughly a cup here. And I already peeled them, but I wanted to show you our vegetable peeler. So this is so awesome because all you have to do is go back and forth. So if you're left-handed, it's going to be sharp for you, but it makes going through a carrot so quick and easy. So vegetable peeler is also dishwasher safe. I'm just going to give this a rough cut, okay? So they don't have to be cut perfectly down. Anything that goes into this blender, just give it kind of a chop and you're good to go. Get the last little bit of this. So these carrot pieces could also go into my freezer bag. Okay, so then to that, I need to add a zucchini, and I've already washed it. The nice thing about this is that you can pretty much add whatever veggies you like. So if you wanted to do a bell pepper, you could add that. So I'm just going to pop those in, and then I'm going to add in some of our Enrichables protein powder. This is our pea protein. I love these because what they say on the label is exactly what they are. So there's obviously lots of protein powders out there. There's lots of supplements out there. And I have definitely tried some others that I was a little bit disappointed in. I was excited to try them. And then when I got them and looked at the label, I saw that they were full of things I didn't want, like artificial sugars and coloring and things like that. So you can purchase our, we have 3 different ones. We have a pea protein, we have a super veggie, and then we have a kale and fiber. And you can purchase them in a smaller bag than this size. You can get them one time, or you can get them as a subscription and get them as many times as you want every month. You can skip months, and you can also change them up. So if you want one month and then a different one the next month, you can do that. And like I said, you can skip months as well. So when you open this up, it has a little scoop in it. So I'm going to be serving this marinara sauce with some pasta. And I have some chicken that I already grilled up at the beginning of the week. So I will probably be using that. I'm only going to do 2 scoops of that. Now, when you use the pea protein, especially if you're using it in baked goods, I love this in brownies, you may find that you need a little bit more water. So we might need that as well, but I think the veggies are gonna provide us enough of that. And then I love the super veggie. The super veggie might be my absolute favorite. The color hides really well. I'm just gonna do 1 scoop of that because we have some other veggies in there. But it has pumpkin, it has mushroom, pumpkin, parsnip, broccoli, and cauliflower powder. And it is, so all those super veggies, love that, and nobody can taste it. Okay, so then to this, we're going to, hold up, I need to make sure, yep, add the sauce ingredients. So I've got that. I'm not gonna add my diced tomatoes yet. So let me turn this on. On the side, you're gonna turn it on. It'll beep at you. If I wanted to turn the lid or turn the dial to try to make this turn on, it's not gonna let me. It says, hey, lid, you forgot it. Okay, now you will, it won't remind you to put the cap back on, so you do need that. Okay, and then all I'm gonna do, all of our appliances are like this. You're just gonna adjust the dial until you get to heated puree and then push the middle button. So I'm gonna start this and then I'm gonna come back and I'll let you see what happens at the beginning. And then I'm gonna come back after it's done so that you can see the rest of this. But I wanted to show you, I'm gonna time this and let you know exactly how much time it takes. Okay, so we're gonna push start and I'll have you see what happens. Stop it there. So what it's doing, and I might need my tamper just to tamp things down. What it's doing is when it's blending, it's like you're stirring on the stove. When it stops, that heating element kicks in and it's going to be heating. So it's going to alternate heat and then stir, heat, stir until it's done. All right, so I'm going to come back and I'll show you the finished product. All right, guys, so this just finished. I had set my timer for 30 minutes and it is 6 minutes and 47 seconds left to go. So that did not take that much time. I'm just gonna hit the cancel button. I don't think, well, I'm not gonna touch this, but it was just bubbling away. My daughter and I were talking about how it sort of seemed like a volcano. So I'm gonna hit cancel. I'm gonna open that up in just a minute. So I'm gonna add 28 ounces of, I'm gonna do fire roasted diced tomatoes. I've already opened 1 can. I wanna show you how to use our smooth veg can opener. So I like to start, first of all, by the way, these are pop top cans. However, I don't ever use the pop top, especially if I might have to scoop or scrape out the inside with one of my scrapers, because that's what would cut it. So now this is a smooth edge. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it on exactly perpendicular to me. So not this way, not this way. There's 2 little wheels here and you wanna catch the rim in between the wheels. I like to start on like the label, the front of the label, the nutrition part, and go around. That way you'll know exactly how far around you've gone, but a lot of times it'll click or snap or pop like it just did when you've gone around. So then you're gonna turn it back the other way and it pops right off. Then this button right here, this button on the side is going to control the little beak. You'll lift it up and you never have to touch the can. All right, so I'm gonna carefully take this off because it is so hot and very steamy. And I'm just gonna very gently pour this in. So you can use, it's just 28 ounces. My store didn't have a 28 ounce can. So I'm doing 2 of the smaller ones. If you wanted to make this thicker, you could do that by just draining those tomatoes to start. All right, so this lid is gonna go back on And then I'm gonna set this to a custom blend. So it's on custom blend already. I'm gonna hit the button and then it's gonna go 1 to 9. And I just want it on a 2. I'm gonna start it and only go for 30 seconds. So here we go. So you can see it's definitely turning into more of the color of a tomato sauce now. You could stop it earlier if you want, which I'm going to do, and let it be a little bit chunkier. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our pasta. So this is our deep covered baker. It's in our stoneware line. It's one of my most beloved pieces. I love this gray color. It goes with lots of different interior designs. It has the lid, and I'm going to show you how you can do pasta in the microwave and you don't even have to drain it. So I'm going to take the lid off. In here I have about 8 ounces of penne pasta. Okay, to this, I'm going to add 2 cups of chicken broth. Now, you could do, as long as it's 2 cups, you could do a cup of water, a cup of wine if you wanted to, or even like half a cup of wine. You could do all water. I personally love chicken broth because it flavors the pasta. Now, I never use like a box of chicken broth or a can. I use Better Than Bouillon. It's just a little paste, and 1 teaspoon is good for 1 cup of water. So I'm gonna do 2 teaspoons, and then this just stays in my fridge. It doesn't usually last that long because we use it all the time for so many things, but it'll last a long time in your fridge. Okay, so then I'm just gonna put the lid back on, and I'm gonna pop it into my microwave for 5 minutes. And at 5 minutes, I'm gonna give it a stir and put it in for another 5 minutes. Check it at that point. The water should be absorbed to the broth, and the pasta should be cooked through. If it's not, you can give it another minute or 2. If I was doing a pound of pasta, usually with a spaghetti, it'll take about 16 minutes. So I do 8 minutes, stir, another 8. All right, and then the last thing that I want to show you guys is our cheese graters. So I'm going to grate up some mozzarella cheese here, and I wanted to show you we have 3 different graters. So we have this very fine Zester Grater, and I love these because on the back you can see there's a little switch or a little lever, so you push that down and then you can make that an easel, or you can have it completely flat to grate some Parmesan or lemon zest or ginger on top of things. But I also love this because these are really sharp. They all come with a case. And this has this cute little baby food holder. So you can put like nutmeg in there and grate that up. So fun. And these are all dishwasher safe. And then this one is our Coarse Grater. And again, same thing. That's the one I'm going to use today. And then one of my favorites, this one's brand, all of these are new, but this one was a totally new one to us. One side is a fine grate, and the other is this big chunky like farmhouse grate. And these will come apart, so you could just use one or the other if you wanted. They both have covers, but you can also just make it into an easel and put it over the top of the little cup that it comes with. Let me stop that. And then you can grate right into this cup like that, okay? So let me set that off to the side. I am going to use this one that's kind of a medium grate. And I have some Parmesan cheese, I'm sorry, not Parmesan, mozzarella cheese here. And I'm just gonna grate it down. Now I have a pretty big chunk, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing. However, let me tell you a little tip about your cheese. Please buy your cheese in the blocks, because the block is going to last a lot longer for you than the shredded. If you get a little part that starts to go bad, you can just cut that off and the rest of it is still good. It's typically cheaper than the pre-grated cheese, and generally speaking, the second to third ingredient on a pre-grated cheese is going to be cellulose or potato starch. And what those are, cellulose, tree bark. It's that white powder that you see especially on like a grated cheddar cheese or shredded cheddar. And it just prevents it from melting really well. It does kind of affect the taste. And yeah, you just don't need it. So I love to shred up my own cheese. That's plenty for us. And then that's dishwasher safe. So I'm gonna come back when this is all done and show you the finished product. See you in a bit. So it's been about 13 minutes. I ended up doing just a few more minutes on the pasta to get some more of the liquid absorbed and finish getting that pasta nice and tender. Oh, got a facial. All right, so I'm gonna set that aside. A couple things about your stoneware. If you're not familiar with stones, these particular stones are some of our older pieces that do not go into the dishwasher or under the broiler, but we have new pieces that do go under the broiler and are dishwasher safe, and you can preheat them. But the great thing is next month, all of our stoneware is on sale for hosts. So my hosts can get up to 2 pieces of stoneware at 60% off, including this guy, which would be $38 next month for my host. So huge savings. And let me just zoom in here so that you guys can see. So this is all perfectly cooked and tender. I'm gonna take the lid off of my sauce. I know I will have extra sauce. I'm not gonna worry too much about that. I'm gonna grab it this way because I am not left-handed. All right, and I'm just gonna pour it on in. So good. That should be plenty. Set that off to the side, and I can freeze the rest of that sauce, and then give this a good stir. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I wish you guys could be here to smell it. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna add some mozzarella on top. If you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to comment below this video, and I can't wait to see you the rest of the party. Have a great and wonderful day, and keep cooking.